came to the US for grad studies, earning an MA and a PhD from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Nayereh's Iranian passport was confiscated while she was here due to her activism that critiqued the ruling theocracy in Iran. That necessitated her and her spouse to do odd jobs to survive as stateless exiles for several years before earning new immigrant status. Against all odds, Nayereh persevered, receiving several research fellowships and awards, including a Fulbright in Azerbaijan, postdoctoral fellowships at Harvard, Stanford, the Woodrow Wilson International Center, and with visiting positions at the universities of Iowa, Minnesota, Harvard, UCLA, and USC. Nayereh personifies what it means to be a public intellectual. Her publications include over 80 articles and essays, and she's also authored or co-edited 3 books. As a preeminent feminist scholar in our field, she has probably one of the sharpest and critical eyes on Islamic mobilization in Iran ever since the revolution and feminist responses to the same. Her work on Iran is widely used in social movements literature to educate on how these dynamics get institutionalized, as well as the feminist resistance emerging from these contexts. Aside from her awards and scholarship, she leaves also a lasting legacy on our campus. She served as the chair of our department for 4 years and is the founding director of the Middle Eastern and Islamic Studies minor at CSUN since 2013 to the present, a minor that was built partially through funding from a major NEH grant that she received. In short, she has contributed extensively to curriculum and institutional building here. As a teacher, she's been one of our most beloved teachers in the classroom. Students she's mentored continue to work with her for years as she shapes them into activists and scholars of the next generation. She's also been, on top of all of that, been tireless as a transnational human and women's rights activist. She served as consultant to the United Nations on multiple projects concerning gender, democracy, and interethnic conflict in the Middle East. And she's also a community organizer extraordinaire, a vital part of secular Iranian diasporic organizing with a deep commitment to what one can do even from a place of exile. She's worked for several decades through various NGOs, given public lectures, and been interviewed on these issues for BBC, Voice of America, Radio Germany, LA Times, Radio Farda, and Open Democracy. When I first arrived here trying to find a sense of belonging, Nayereh would create that in big and small ways, starting with the bonding over similarities in the languages we spoke, mentoring me as chair, and inviting me into her home. I deeply admire her intellectual honesty and courage at every turn, as she has been a phenomenal role model as a scholar, teacher, activist, and mentor for our community. Please join me in honoring Dr. Nayereh Tohidi.
Very generous, Sheena. Thank you so much, Dr. Malhotra, our associate dean. Rather emotional. I accept this award with pride and humility. I'm humbled because I know very well, working with regard to organizing of the previous Phenomenal Woman, at least for several years, I know how it takes, what a long time and efforts and also deliberation it takes to choose the awardees. So I'm really humbled to be among them, among very distinguished and phenomenal women today here, especially from Professor Sandra Harding, from whom I have learned a lot as a colleague and a scholar. And I have been inspired by the rest of you as well. I know about your work. You may not think so, but I do. I want to thank my colleagues, my students, our staff, hardworking staff, especially Janaki Barman and Sudave Faqihi, our volunteer students who made this event possible, and especially Shira Brown, Professor Shira Brown, who, without her skill of managing this event, wouldn't have been possible. I also want to thank our administration, our Dean, Dr. Elizabeth Say, who has been a faculty member of our department and has always helped and supported our department. I also want to take this opportunity to thank all my friends who are here. I understand there are more than 40 of them here. Thank you. I know some of you have been driving long ways. Sadie came from San Diego. Many of you came from Irvine, from, long distance, and I really appreciate that. I have benefited from having amazing friends, many of whom are wonderful scholars like Dr. Janet Afari and Frida Afari who are here, and many of whom are distinguished members of this community. If I name them, then I won't have enough time to name each of them. But I value every one of them very much. Without friends, you cannot even have a life. Especially as an immigrant, friends are so important. Supportive network is so important. And I'm proud of my friends because I get to choose them. And I believe in them, I respect them. And finally, the last but not least, I want to thank my family, my beloved husband, who himself is a prominent scholar and activist, and I'm proud of him, and my sister, my niece, my distant cousins, who came all the way from Irvine to be here. But I'm also honored that several of our previous Phenomenal Woman awardees are here. And I really appreciate that they came for all of us to be here, to celebrate all of us here. Especially I want to thank Dr. Leila Al-Marayati and her husband, Salam Al-Marayati, who are wonderful community organizers. They have been doing wonderful things for American Muslims in this country. Leila represented Muslim women in the Beijing conference. She was part of the American delegation, and she has been always a symbol, a role model for Muslim Americans, especially Muslim American women, and I'm really honored that she's here today. And also other previous phenomenal women like Parvane Bahar, Ms. Bahar, Dr. Jay Bays, Dr. Elizabeth Berry. Am I forgetting anybody else? Any other previous awardees here that I forgot? Anyway, it's really an honor, and I want to thank you on behalf of all of us that you came again. I want to also mention that I value CSUN so much. Those of you who took your time from your Sunday to be here and took money from your pockets to contribute, it's for a good cause. It's for a wonderful school, very progressive school. CSUN has been very diverse, and for a wonderful department that many of speakers already talked about. So this goes toward scholarship for students. So I should say that CSUN gave me a home. As an exile, a new immigrant, especially even before I could have the right to work in this country, I had to do odd jobs to survive along with my husband. And CSUN finally, after several years of gypsy scholarship and teaching part-time here and there, CSUN gave me a home. It has made me feel at home because of good colleagues, friendly environment, and good administration, and also a diverse, multicultural school that we have. I think my time is out, but I could go on and say more things. I want to leave you with this note though, that I took refuge in this country, escaping from dictatorship, from theocracy. And I know how it is, but I smell bad signs of going to our democracy, this is the country I chose to live in because of its democracy, despite its shortcomings and diversity, and that this is a land of immigrants, a land that welcomes immigrants who are seeking better life, who are seeking freedom, who are taking refuge in this country. I don't want to see this country going, backward and regressing to authoritarianism, to hypocrisy, to hatred, to bigotry, and even some signs of theocracy I see that worries us. So again, like other colleagues of mine, we are going to vote on Tuesday. This is our last chance to make sure that this country is not going, away from the route toward a better democracy rather than regressing to something that all of us are frightened about.